As a modern Star Wars fan, you just gotta keep it a Benjamin Franklin when it comes to the current state of Star Wars. And well, you see, that's the fact that even though we're probably in the prime period for everything Star Wars related, like, all the new films and its presence in the entertainment media, it just doesn't feel like what it used to be. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Now, don't get me wrong, there has been some diamonds in the rough as far as everything Star Wars in the last couple of years. Like, the Mandalorian show a few years back had its moments. The Obi-Wan series was pretty alright. The recently released Ahsoka show makes me want to rewatch the Clone Wars from 2008 on Cartoon Network. God, please give me my childhood back. But the bottom line is, overall, Star Wars is suffering the same fate that big companies like Marvel are suffering in their films. They've gotten so big and so popular that they're trying to capitalize as much as they can to where they end up shitting out all these mid movies and shows in a short amount of time, which makes almost everything lackluster in quality. It sucks. So yeah, that's the Cliff Notes version of how all these films, well, fell off, but luckily this isn't a film channel. You see, over here we got fucked up retinas from staring at a monitor for too long and suffer from the occasional swamp ass. This is about video games. And fortunately, while Star Wars is kinda dry on their film aspect of media, one could argue that, they've been picking up the pace in the video game aspect in the past few years. We just seen the release of their sequel title, Jedi Survivor, which was met with pretty positive reviews. The Lego Star Wars games will forever be cult classics. I mean, I never seen so many people happy to pay $60 on a re-release. And it's been years since we got a new Battlefront game, and BF2 was still alive and well. So, even if you've turned your back on the movies and shows in the Star Wars world, there's still a lot more to enjoy in the form of video games. And that's not stopping anytime soon, because we've got an abundance of reviews for even more upcoming games. But one that's, recently caught my eye when I was looking around is an apparent new Star Wars game that's going to be behind a developer that's made some heavy-hitting titles in the past. Quantic Dream. To the unknown, that might sound like some Stephen Hawking special equation type shit, but to the seasoned gamer, that name will likely bring fresh memories of great story games. Quantic Dream is a studio best known for creating choose-your-own-path type adventure games, and these games are usually accompanied by memorable characters and great storylines that really put you inside of the game, if that makes sense. They're behind some of the most goated games like Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, Fahrenheit, and my personal favorite story game from the PS3 era, Beyond Two Souls. This game motion captured William Dafoe. Do I even need to say anything? So it goes without saying that Quantic Dream can make peak adventure and interactive story games, but back in 2021, they released a pretty vague trailer that slipped under a lot of people's radar for a game named Star Wars Eclipse. The game's supposed to take place hundreds of years before Anakin Skywalker declared war on a bunch of toddlers, and is supposed to be one of the studio's next story-focused titles based on George Lucas's universe. Now, sadly, this was the first and last time that we've seen any official footage of the game, and it's been pretty quiet ever since. But recently, during the Tokyo Game Show a couple days ago, the devs at Quantic Dream gave some new insight on their upcoming Star Wars story title that sounds promising to hear. Now, with me paraphrasing, they claim that the game does in fact still exist, with the production still simmering and in motion. And as far as gameplay goes, the only thing that they decided to share is that along with its expected choose-your-own-path nature, anyone will be able to die in the storyline, and that there's no game over. For Quantic Dream, this isn't anything new. Most of their previous titles had the same stipulation, but for Star Wars, especially after being bought out by family-friendly Disney, we haven't seen too much dark shit happen in their universe. And me personally, I'm all for that. The reason I love story-focused games so much is that they're the only times that a video game can tug at me on an emotional level. Like, take the first 2 seasons of the Walking Dead video game. The first time you played it, you just can't tell me you didn't feel something like emotionally in your heart from the decisions you had to make. If you didn't, then your name is T800, that's the only explanation. But games like those that can put you in the forefront of a good storyline where you have to choose how it turns out are some of the best games out there, and this Star Wars Eclipse game, I think, can have that type of effect if it's done right. Now, right now, we still don't have any, release window for the game or any other, knowledge on it, so we're likely years ahead of its release. But if anything new comes up from the game, I'll be sure to talk about it in the future. So what do you guys think about this Star Wars Eclipse game, man? It sounds crazy to me, you know. I'm excited for it. So as always, if you like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, and I'll see you on the next one.